Hey, welcome to today's episode of the Hive with Us podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Martinez. Today we have a returning special guest, Mr. Wayne Ebersole. If you did not hear his other episode, please go check it out. We talk about regenerative farming and how it affects the world and how you can make a difference nationwide and globally. Please go check it out. Wayne, what's your cool... Today we're covering deal breakdown. We'll call our cool, interesting stories. Wayne, what is your cool, interesting story you have for us today?
Well, the one story I like to tell is, like I said, for the last 10 years, I've had the privilege of working with farmers all over the country. And the one that I really enjoyed working with was a gentleman out of Western Colorado. He traditionally had been a fire chief in the Lake Tahoe region, and he did a lot of work in cleaning up the forest around Lake Tahoe. I think he was a fire chief there for 15 years, maybe. And he did an amazing job of cleaning that forest up. They had no forest fires of any significance during his tenure as fire chief in Lake Tahoe region. And so that was very interesting. But when he retired, he bought this ranch in Western Colorado. And this ranch, when he bought it, had an organic matter of less than 1%. I think it was average about 0.5%. It was overgrown with Canadian thistles and brush, and it was basically unusable. And so he started learning all he could on how to turn this ranch around. And today, about 20 years later, that ranch, I think, has on average between 7 and 8% organic matter. His neighbor still has all the Canadian thistles and everything there. And he he has turned that ranch is actually hay productive ground. It's ground that is, he grows hay on it. And his nutrient density of that hay is so high, it's like 30% higher than any other hay grown in the region. And he can charge, a third more for that hay because every farmer that buys his hay ends up feeding a third less of that hay. So basically what he did is he looked at the plants that were growing there. He had a couple friends that were in research, but he also had this book that told him about, like, for instance, Canadian thistles thrive in a low magnesium environment. So he's like, well, I have all these thistle seeds blowing across from my neighbor's property, growing on my farm. How do I get these to stop growing? And he realized he has to raise the magnesium levels of his land. So he farmed this hay ground with regenerative agricultural practices, no tillage, wide diversity of plants that some are annual, some are perennials, and using irrigation and putting his nutrients, his supplements into his water as he irrigated is how he raised it up. And today, these thistle seeds still blow across his land, but he barely gets, maybe at the most, 2 or 3 thistles growing each year. And instead of growing 6 foot high, they only grow maybe 24 inches tall. And he goes out there with his little sprayer on the back of his four-wheeler with 20% vinegar in it, and he hits those thistles and they burn up and die. And that's the power of regenerative agriculture. The nutrient density of his hay has gone up so high that the farmers that buy it, and all he has to do to sell his hay, he publishes his forage sample in the local paper. That's all he does. That's the only marketing he does. And he will sell out of hay in no time at all, because every farmer knows that they're going to feed 1/3 less hay, which is less labor, less manure being produced. Cattle are happier and healthier. I mean, his soil is so healthy at this point. He has micronutrients like zinc and iron and those kind of things showing up in his hay forage samples, which tells you that once the micronutrients show up, you're doing something really right there. So that's the power to me of regenerative agriculture. And when we improve our soil health, now our food becomes medicine. A lot of the diseases that we struggle with in North America as humans here comes from deficiencies. And so when you get the soil health up, the nutrient density of your food goes up, your food now becomes your medicine. So let's take the pharmaceutical chemical money and let's put it into our food and make ourselves healthier. So that's kind of the story. That's the power of regenerative agriculture in a story form. Is your food, you are what you eat, and your food density is directly related to their soil health.
This show is sponsored by HiveMind CRM. It is more than just a CRM. It is a real estate and business mastermind that comes with an all-in-one CRM. You can have unlimited websites and users. You can call, text, RVM, and email all in one user interface. And you can set up custom automations for any type and multiple businesses. 65% of companies start using a CRM system within the first 5 years of business. Once implemented, the HiveMind will save you on marketing, give you more time, and make more money. One of our users had his first $100,000 month using our system in June. We want to see you automate and accelerate your business. Text us at 210-972-1842 for future meetings, and of course to get our $1 course on how to make more than 6 figures on one land deal. You can schedule your free demo today at hivemindcrm.io.
That is amazing. That's crazy. So wherever, and this is a key point too, is whatever is growing in your property, figure out what it needs, and if you raise that level, they won't be thriving there anymore, because there'll be a deficit there.
If you got thorns and thistles, most likely you have some type of nutrient deficiency in your soil, because they thrive in nutrient deficient. But it's Mother Nature's way of keeping that soil covered and building that soil health back up again, to the point where other things will start to grow. So it happens. The soil will regenerate itself. It takes a very long time, whereas we as humans, we're supposed to be managers of that. If we can manage it and manage it well, we can do it much faster than Mother Nature will do it.
Wow, that's cool. That's a cool story. I'm really curious. Did he tell you why? How is he able to keep forest fires out of his district?
Yeah, so basically, it goes back to Mother Nature again, right?
Yeah.
So if you for instance, I know in California, a lot of your forests have been let go. They've stopped forest management per se, at least at any significant level. So what happens is, go ahead.
It's a lot of ground cover.
Yeah. So what happens is forests grow, things die, they decay, they fall down, all that stuff accumulates on the forest floor, and so. Yeah. All that accumulation becomes tinder for a forest fire. So the more accumulates, the more tinder's there. So Mother Nature's way of taking care of that is a forest fire, right? And that also brings other benefits to it as well. Well, nature does it in extremes. She lets it go as long as she can until finally it just goes.
That's true.
And when it goes big. And then it starts over. The process takes a long period of time. Well, what he did is he went in there. He did an initial cleanup of the forest, so cleaned out a lot of that tinder. And basically what they did is they hired guys to come in there, and they cleaned it and put it on big piles. Then they helicoptered it out or burned it in place in a controlled burn environment. And then once that initial cleanup was done, they just had a regular maintenance cleanup year after year, where they went through and just cleaned up a little bit. They left some of it there. I mean, there's a certain amount of it that you need to leave there to keep the soil covered and things like that. But they kept it at a very minimal amount. And so when a fire did start, it would burn a small area, but it would soon peter out, or it was very easily controlled, because they had reduced the amount of fuel that was available to it. And that's the way he maintained it. And the initial cleanup cost him pretty much, but then the ongoing maintenance. So everything was meant to be maintained. That's what humans were designed to do, to maintain, to dress and keep the earth. They were given dominion over it to dress and keep it. And so doing that on a little by little basis, a little bit every year, or letting Mother Nature clean it up. I mean, you have your choice. And we know what the devastating effects are when nature takes care of it. So, hey, let's take care of it little by little and maintain it, and it's much easier. It's less of a problem. That's my theory. So
I like that you kind of take it to the biblical thing, where like we have dominion over it, and it's to be kept, not to be. Yeah. So. That's cool, man. It's such a cool story. I hope somebody listening out there and makes some changes, because it's such a huge problem out here. And I think if mild maintenance, not just like going too far, mild maintenance can do wonders. Who knows?
But even if you think about it, even like in California where it's been left go, you've had regions where you've had major fires that have done it. Just take over those regions now and just maintain them going forward.
Yeah.
that becomes, if you don't have the money to do the initial cleanup or the big cleanup, and then start maintaining the areas that have been cleaned up by Mother Nature, and eventually you'll be in control of most of it, and you'll keep that from getting out of hand going forward. So
there you go. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, we have an investment company called Big Sky Capital Group, and you can find us at bigskycapitalgroup.com. On the agricultural consulting side, and if you're looking to transition to regenerative agriculture, we have a company called Future Generation Ag. So you can find us at futuregenag.com.
futuregenag.com. Man, Wayne, I appreciate you coming on. This has been like I went to an hour school lesson of
I love talking about this stuff. I'm passionate about it because I see the benefits of it. And when you think about, our friend from Western Colorado and what he's doing just in his little space with his little ranch, if everybody did what he did and worked to that, there'd be a lot of huge change going on right now.
Which is what we need. I think it takes individuals. It takes a small group of individuals to create a movement, and I think that's it. That's it.
Well, the awareness is coming there, and I'm happy to facilitate in any way I can. So
there you go. We appreciate your time, man. Wayne, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me. I really appreciate you having me.
A unique podcast today for sure. So for everybody here, go like, share, subscribe. Hopefully you learned something today, and you can take that knowledge with you in the future. Go check out Wayne's companies. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, so the Hive Mind is launching a new program where we're helping you work deals that are valued at $1 million and up. If your deal is worth $980,000, we don't want to take a look at it. You can submit those deals to us at submitbigland.com, and we'll help you comp the deals. If it's good, we'll help you close it, and we'll also help you fund it and sell it. Check us out, submitbigland.com, milliondollarmastermind.com, and wholesaling $1 million land deals on Facebook. Thanks, guys.